How's that make you feel? Pumped? Good? Hopeful? Sportsnet, the #1 sports destination and broadcast channel in Canada, bar none, launched this video just a few months ago to highlight the importance of sports in our lives. Now, if anybody was counting, over half the clips in that were of hockey, because Canadians love their hockey. How you feel about sports, multiply that times 10 is how most Canadians feel about hockey. We've got incredibly deep roots on it and in it, and that's why this project meant something very different than a standard studio build. They have to have flexibility. Any control room could be running any part of the studio at any time. And some days the TD is going to be feeding the screens on the smaller shows. Some days we'll want a separate operator doing it. Some days we're going to have 2 operators working simultaneously. And of course, some days we're going to have the operator on the other side of the city that's going to be running something as well. And no, you can't lock the feeding of content to any one control room for any one other part of the studio, because that would be handcuffing production. And heaven forbid we can't do that, right? We've got to think about the future, of course. Augmented reality, that's, at this point, it was right nipping at our heels as something we need to think about right away. And then we have to layer on our good design sense of anything to any screen at any time from anywhere, and sometimes multiple anywheres simultaneously. We've got 6 months now to design this, select all the gear that's going to be running it, and launch it. And it's got to be broadcast reliable. And don't forget, this is Canada, and it's hockey. Okay, no pressure. Totally didn't lose any sleep on this one for about a month as we tried to pull all the little pieces together. So what we ended up doing was dividing the studio up into 3 systems. System 1 has got 2 of the HDVG servers, it's a tongue twister, to run it. And it runs all the stuff in the main part of the studio. System 2 has got 1 server for the upper and lower studio, and System 3 has 1 server for the regional studio. We've got 4 Maestro TD Control tablets, 20-inch touchscreen tablets, that are set up, 2 in the local control rooms, 1 in the remote control room on the other side of the city, and then 1 is an engineering one that floats around in the studio. They can be Wi-Fi, they can be hardwired, it doesn't matter. Excuse me. Any tablet can connect to any one of the systems at any time. And any tablet, if it goes down, can automatically give way so that somebody else can jump on and start controlling it. So now we've got our anything from anywhere, and because we've got multiple tablets able to access, we could have 3 of those tablets each running the different systems simultaneously. We've got our anywheres from any time simultaneously. So we had a huge check mark on the system architecture at this point, and we knew that we'd move forward with all the rest of the designs. First thing that made the big news for us was the puck wall. As I talked about, there was a lot of talk about how we wanted to do that and how we want it to look. So we've got these pucks on the 2 stands on the sides representing all the teams in the league. Talent can go over, they're just sitting in a slot. They take one out. Each puck is outfitted with a unique RFID tag. They bring it over to our center stand here, standard 70-inch monitor, and right in the bottom you see that little cup holder there. You take the puck, you drop it in there, the RFID reader is sitting underneath it, buzz, 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 recognizes the tag, talks to TD Control, and all this happens instantly. Is that a piece of the, oh, there you go. That's like one of the pucks we got. They're a little thicker. We sandwiched everything in between. Anyway, thank you. You drop it in, and then magically, as the designers explained, the default content pops up for that puck. So there we are. We got a Toronto Maple Leafs puck in there, and that's the default page for them. Now, what you can also see here is across the bottom, there's 5 additional assets. They are, again, created pre-show, and they are created based on what production thinks they want to talk about that night. They may not use all 5 of those assets, and it really depends on what the talent or production wants to do at the time. So talent now, there's a tablet here, buttons 1 through 5 on it. They can touch any one of those, and any one of those other assets will come full screen. They can jump from 1 to 5 to 3, back to 1, any way they want to go at any time. And what do you think the operator's doing in the control room right now? Absolutely nothing. Talent is driving this 100%. They've got control of not only the speed of the story, but the direction of the story. And if they pick up on something that happened in the game, as these guys are so good at doing, they can change the direction in a heartbeat if they think it is more important to the way they tell the story. Because at the end of the day, the stories are going to continue to change. The designs are going to continue to be pressed, and the designers will press those elements every single day. And the talent is going to want to move around and make sure they can tell the story the way they want to tell it that night. But our Maestro operator, they're going to turn to us and say, okay, which button do I need to press to make this new thing happen? Thank you very much.